Howdy everybody. Now we're going to talk about some other scales that you'll see, namely the pentatonic and these things called arpeggios. So first of all, let's dig into what an arpeggio is. You may have heard this if you've had other experience in different types of music, but if you're not familiar with this term, all it means is that you play the notes that make up the chord. You just play them individually, okay? On the fiddle neck, or on your guitar neck, or mandolin neck, whatever you choose to play. So let's start looking at this via our handy-dandy A scale. And so we talked in the previous lesson about how we build an A major chord. So let's do that again quickly. Let's write out our A scale. A major, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, back to A, which takes us back around to the beginning. Let's number them. A is 1, B is 2, C sharp is 3, 4, E is 5, F sharp is 6, G sharp is 7, A equals 1, and the pattern continues on. And we talked about the way we build an A, standard old A major chord, like you'd use singing guitar around a campfire, is you take the 1, you take the 3, you take the 5. And those notes blend together harmoniously, their wavelengths match up in the cosmos and enter our ear and seem to be very pleasant sounds for the way that our anatomy works. And so we are using the 1, 3, and 5. So an A note plus a C sharp note plus an E equals A major. Now if you're playing a guitar and you're playing behind somebody or comping on a piano, you're going to be playing all these notes at once. However, why can't you also just play them individually? And that is exactly what an arpeggio is. So you would play through all the notes individually. You would find your lowest A, and then play a C sharp, then play an E, and then come back around to the beginning, find your next A, open A string, C sharp, open E, and then A. And then you can come back down as well. And here's our handy-dandy fiddle neck to demonstrate. So in this case, we're going to be playing an A here, C sharp, E, A, C sharp, E, A. And you can go back down. A, E, C sharp, A, E, C sharp, A. Okay? And that's an A major arpeggio. Now you might ask, does G work the exact same way? That answer is yes. So every single one of these major scales that you create, and the way we built all the others, and by this point you probably have some of those memorized by now, but just take the first, the third, and the fifth note of that scale, and that creates that major chord. Then pick those notes out individually and play them. You're playing that chord's major arpeggio. Okay? Now, we talked about how to build other chords too, and we talked about building seventh chords. And for instance, if we wanted to build an A major seventh, what do? We just take our 1 plus 3 plus 5, which is the same thing as right here, 1, 3, and 5, and then add the 7th note in the scale. And then we can do some funny things to the 7th note. We can flatten it to make a different sort of seventh. But right now, let's just do this. So we'll do a 1, 3, 5, which is the A, C sharp, and E. And then we'll go grab the seventh note from our scale, which is right here. And that's a G sharp. And so when you add all those letters and notes together, A, C sharp, E, and G sharp, that creates an A major 7. And you can play them all together all at once, boom, and play that chord. Or you can just play those notes individually and play the arpeggio. So A, C sharp, E, G sharp, A, C sharp, E, G sharp, A, and then go back down. A, G sharp, E, C sharp, A, G sharp, E, C sharp, A. Same way with the A dominant 7. We talked in the last video about how to build that, and that's just the A major 7, except you flatten the 7. So you have A, C sharp, E, and the G sharp is here, and so you flatten the 7th a half step to make it a G. And then you have A, C sharp, E, and G equals A dominant 7. But we can just play these individual notes instead of all together, and we can play through the A dominant 7 arpeggio. So we can go whoop, A, C sharp, same as before, E, and then G, A, C sharp, E, G, A. That's in first position. You can do that anywhere on the neck. Anywhere you find A, C sharps, E's, and G's, which is all over the neck, you can do this. Okay? So that's the idea of an arpeggio. You just name the chord. Any chord. Come one, come all. Come any chord. And then play individual notes going up the scale and down the scale, and that equals an arpeggio. Okay? So that's the way that works. Now, the other thing that you'll come across is this idea of pentatonic scales. So, just like fiddle tunes aren't, tunes don't just go up and down the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's not that continuously. That wouldn't. There's some melodies like that, but they've been taken a long time ago, joy of the world. Anyway, and so what you might imagine is that you could skip a few notes in here and play that same like a scale, just skip a few notes. And so what if you skipped, what if you skipped a B note, and what if you skipped F sharp? Okay? What would happen? How many notes would you have left? You'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. And so we'll do this over here. That's what people mean by pentatonic scale. So pent here, like pentagon, equals 5. So you take 5 notes out of this scale and play them. So generally speaking, these consist of the 1, the 3, 4, 5, and 7 notes. So in the case of A, it's going to be A, C sharp, D, E, and G sharp in the case of A major. We'll talk about blues scales later on, but I just wanted to introduce this concept of a 5-note scale and explain it, just so you know where we're going. This scale is used, these 5 notes scales are used a lot in all forms of music, and you know, modern music wouldn't exist without this concept. And one of the many places it's super handy is in blues, and a lot of times what you're really playing here, this pentatonic scale, is that you're actually playing over what would be the A dominant scale. And so for A dom, what do you do to create the A dominant? You flatten the 7 to create that and leave everything else the same. Okay? And so if we want to write out an A dominant scale, we would write out A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, and we're going to flatten that 7th as compared to the major, so that would be a G to an A. And so then all we have to do is follow this same pattern, and we would be using the 1, the 3, 4, the 5, and this 7, which is going to be the flatted 7. And so our pentatonic here would be, oh, sorry, leave out the B, A, C sharp, D, E, G, and so forth. And A ad infinitum. Okay? And so that's the basics of pentatonic and arpeggios. One of the great practice things to do, because arpeggios are used so much in music, is to practice those. So for instance, if you're out of the key of A, just find these arpeggio notes, A, C sharp, E, and play those until you can play through them pretty fluidly, where it feels easy, and then add in a G sharp and play through that, so you can play through your A major 7 arpeggios. Add in a G, and you can play through excuse me, a G, and you can play through the A dominant 7 arpeggios. And so those are super useful things to practice, no matter where you are in your journey. Alrighty, guys. Thank you.